it's awfully nice that Peter came.
Peter often does.
It was very sweet of him, I thought. To go the extra distance.
Peter only needs the right encouragement, and Peter will always see you through.
Yes, he's a very generous man, I've always found. Always very handy.
Where was the first time Peter arrived, shall we say, for you?
I'll have to think about that. I'm fairly certain it was August the 3rd, 1963. I remember quite distinctively. I was standing by the window. A young girl was cycling past, and her mother was crying, and all of a sudden, Peter came behind me.
He'd enjoy that.
And you know what he whispered in my ear?
What did he say?
He said, "Do you like it up them?"
Oh.
He did, and it was then that I realized that I quite liked wearing dresses.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I remember that same day that you were stood there admiring the vista, and the young girl in the dress came past, and her mother was there.
Yes.
I remember that because that was me.
It was you?
That was me.
The mother or the young girl?
The young girl. I was there, running down the way, running from a man. That man was wearing a dress also. And I observed Peter. I saw him in the distance. This wasn't the first time I'd seen Peter.
Yes.
And I saw Peter on that occasion, and indeed, he came quite hard on, at that point,
yes,
against a young gentleman of foreign origin, as I recall.
Yes.
Money.
A lot of them about in those days.
There were an awful lot of them.
You don't see any at all now.
They don't come
Quite
here
strange.
anymore now. I think
strange.
Peter's got rid of them.
Yes.
It's all down to Peter. Peter comes, and they go.
You know, everyone gives poor old Peter a hard time, but my belief is, at the end of the day, people of the cloth, the church, are so good with young people, aren't they? I mean, Peter was fabulous. He really opened my eyes to a whole new world.
Well, Peter was very good in one particular respect, which is being of the cloth. There was always something to mop up with.
Yes, that's
the cloth, of course, in this case. Failing that, he might have brought a gaily coloured caftan with him, but he was always too happy to mop you down, see you right, give you a farthing, and send you on your way. He was the salt of the earth. I wouldn't hear anything.
He was definitely salty.
He was very salty. This was down to his diet. He used to eat an awful lot of fish.
Yes, well, that's what they had in monasteries, I believe.
Well, they did.
Fish.
They did. An awful lot of fish.
And sweeties, apparently. I mean, and they were always asking if I'd like to see them.
Would you like a sweetie? Would you like a puppy? Would you like me to touch you there?
There were lots of puppies in the monastery, I found.
Did you?
Well, I heard crying. I assumed it was of the canine variety.
I was often promised that there were puppies. I went many a time. Peter would say, "Do you want to come?" And I'd think this was an invite into the monastery from St. Peter, as he made me call him. I would come for him to the monastery. I never saw a puppy. He always said, "Oh, he was just here, and he's run off. He must have seen a squirrel."
In like Flynn and gone. That's Peter for you.
That was exactly it. He was like that. He enjoyed himself fully.
It was awfully nice of Peter to come, though, after all this time in prison.
It was. I'm glad they've let him out. I think he's seen the error of his ways. I admire the fact that he now walks around trying to ensure nothing can go wrong by always having his hands down his trousers, out of harm's way. I saw him by a bus stop. This was around the time that the schools let all the young people out, and he was stood there with his hands down his trousers, and I thought, there's Peter making sure he doesn't touch anyone or do anything wrong. He had a puzzled look on his face.
That's Christian for you. That's Christian at least.
Christian was there as well, stood next to him.
Oh, Christian.
Christian had his hands down Peter's trousers too.
Oh, yes, double effort there to make ensure that Peter doesn't come.
Double effort, double ender.